From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 6, streaming now.
The turmoil in Afghanistan hits close to home. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm Amber Grigley. A Marine from Logansport was among the 13 service members killed in that terror attack Thursday at an airport in Kabul, Afghanistan. WRTV reporter Nikki Dimitri reports from Cass County tonight on the Hoosier Marine.
It's a loss the entire Logansport community feels. Flags here are flying at half staff. In a town of nearly 18,000 are mourning the loss of one of their own, U.S. Marine Corporal Humberto Sanchez. Heartbroken, saddened, and devastated. 3 of dozens of words neighbors here shared with me after learning of the loss of Corporal Sanchez. He was based out of Camp Pendleton in California. The 1st Marine Division details various awards and decorations the 22-year-old earned. A statement out of Camp Pendleton notes the unit deployed in February, set to return come fall. Corporal Sanchez was helping with the evacuation of U.S. citizens, the embassy, and Afghans who worked alongside U.S. troops. From lawmakers to law enforcement to community members, messages of support for the Sanchez family are posted on social media. Logansport Mayor Chris Martin writing, quote, "Any plans he may have had for his post-military life were given in sacrifice due to the heart he exhibited in putting himself into harm's way to safeguard the lives of others." The 22-year-old was a graduate of Logansport High School, and social media posts the Logansport Community School Corporation shared their condolences. We found Sanchez in a 2017 Logansport yearbook. This is his senior photo. He was also a member of the varsity soccer team. Before the identities of the 13 service members were known on Friday, Governor Eric Holcomb spoke on the loss.
I'd ask every Hoosier to keep those who fell yesterday, 13 Marines, and their families, and their thoughts and prayers.
In the time since, he's released this statement, sharing in part saying, "Few among us answer a call of duty so dangerous as Corporal Sanchez volunteered to do." One Warrior Foundation, an organization here in Cass County, told me the community will be holding a memorial event. More details are expected soon. In Logansport, Nikki Dimitri, WRTV.
All right, thanks, Nikki, for that update. Now to the latest in Afghanistan, where the drawn down of American troops has begun. This following an overnight drone strike that the Pentagon says killed 2 high-level ISIS-K members. Here's Julia McFarlane with the latest.
Overnight, the U.S. carried out a drone strike in Afghanistan, in Nangarhar province, targeting an ISIS-K planner and facilitator, both believed to have been planning attacks.
2 high-profile ISIS targets were killed and 1 was wounded. And we know of 0 civilian casualties.
Americans still in Afghanistan were again told on Friday to avoid the perimeter around the airport due to security threats.
Threats are still very real. We're taking all the means necessary to make sure we remain focused on that threat stream and doing what we can for force protection.
The State Department says 5,400 U.S. citizens have been evacuated. There are approximately 350 citizens still in Afghanistan looking to leave, though some may have already left. An additional 280 have been in touch with government officials and either want to stay in Afghanistan or have not communicated their plans. The Pentagon confirming Saturday morning that the withdrawal of the 5,000 U.S. troops from the Kabul airport has begun.
We are going to complete this mission by the end of the month. We will do this in as safe and an orderly way as possible, and that includes being able to continue to evacuate right up until the end.
Meanwhile, we are learning more about some of those 13 service members killed in Thursday's attack, including Navy Corpsman Max Soviak and Marines Corporal Hunter Lopez and Lance Corporals Kareem Nekui, David Espinoza, Jared Schmitz and Riley McCollum, who was just 3 weeks from becoming a father.
He was hoping to come back right around the time the baby was born. But yeah, he knew, he was excited. He would have been a great father. He was ready. He was happy.
Flags at the White House and all military posts and naval stations will continue to be flown at half staff until Monday to honour those fallen service members. Julia McFarlane, ABC News, London.
A 14-year-old girl missing from Syracuse, Indiana since April has been found safe in Florida. Aaliyah Ramirez disappeared while walking to her bus stop on April 27th. A statewide silver alert was issued for her on April 30th. Now, at that time, police believed that she was in danger. The silver alert was canceled Friday. Dispatchers in Kosciuszko County confirmed Aaliyah was located safely in Florida. No information about how she got to Florida or who she was located with has been released at this time. A press release with additional information is expected from the Syracuse Police Department in the coming days. This afternoon, many got together to raise awareness about an important cause impacting communities all across the country: overdose. Senator Jim Merritt and others met a church on the 7000 block of North 700 West in McCordsville, Indiana, for an afternoon of Narcan training, a candle lighting to read off the names of those who have lost their lives due to overdose, and a balloon release.
It's actually the stigma behind addiction that is bad. That's what we're trying to put a dent in, is a stigma, because we believe that once the stigma is gone, a lot of people will come forward with their problems. I found a lot of comfort in the group and with all the people who I knew was going through the same thing that I was going through.
National Overdose Awareness Day is August 31st. Officials in all states are being asked to lower the U.S. flags to half-staff in honor of overdose victims. An event today was a combo deal addressing food insecurity and COVID vaccination goals in Marion County. The Purdue University Center for Health Equity and Innovation partnered with Gleaners Food Bank and Walgreens to offer free Pfizer vaccinations at John Marshall High School. Now, people drove through to get the vaccine and a supply of food at the same time. Up to 500 food insecure families are served by Gleaners each Saturday at John Marshall. At today's 2-hour event, they vaccinated 28 people, which equals one vaccination every 2 to 4 minutes. Indiana State University leaders say enrollment at the school is down. The school officials say nearly 9,500 students are enrolled in classes this semester. Now, that's a decline of about 13% compared to the same last year. Officials say they have a plan to address enrollment issues, and that includes the Indiana State Advantage Plan. The program offers a grant for an out-of-classroom experience, also free tuition for Pell Grant recipients, and the promise to finish your degree in 4 years, or the remaining tuition is free. The plan starts with first-year students in 2022. All right, turning now to weather, checking in with meteorologist Kyle Mounds for a look at the evening forecast. And you know, only thing I could think about as I head outside right before the newscast, it's hot out there.
It is. You know, Amber, it continues to feel like a sauna here in central Indiana. You just step outside and it's not just the heat. Yeah, it's also that humidity. But look at these numbers this afternoon. Many locations making it into the 90s again. 90 in Indianapolis, 91 Bloomington and Muncie. And we have had quite the stretch of heat here. The last 7 of 8 days where Indianapolis has made it to 90 or a little warmer. You can see those hazy skies. We still sit at 90 degrees downtown. Same for you in Lafayette and Columbus, 88 degrees right now in Muncie. We've had just a couple of isolated showers that have popped up through the afternoon. Take you into Hamilton County there, just to the east of Cicero. A little shower that's going to continue lifting off to the north and east. And we got a couple more there around Portland. When we come back, we will talk more about some increasing rain chances as we head into next week. You're watching the news at 6 on WRTV.
Welcome back. The Gulf Coast is preparing for yet another major storm. Ida upgraded to a Category 2 hurricane on Saturday and is expected to continue strengthening as it travels through the Gulf of Mexico. Here's ABC's Elizabeth Schulze with the latest.
President Biden already signing an emergency declaration for Louisiana, deploying FEMA emergency response personnel to the Gulf Coast.
We pre-positioned food, water, generators, and other supplies in the area. Power restoration and mobile communication support teams are also en route. We've also closely coordinated with the electric utilities to restore power as soon as possible.
The National Hurricane Center advising everyone to finish preparations Saturday as Ida quickly approaches.
The wind speed at landfall is projected to be sustained in the neighborhood of 140 miles per hour. This is a very strong storm. And so everybody out there needs to be very careful.
New Orleans once again in the crosshairs, exactly 16 years after Hurricane Katrina devastated the city as a Category 3 storm.
You need to be prepared for damaging wind, power outages, heavy rain, tornadoes. What I am told is that this storm in no way will be weakening.
Mandatory evacuations in place for thousands outside the levee system. Other parts of the city under voluntary evacuation.
If you are intending to leave, do so now. There's a small window of time for evacuation, but by this evening, you need to be ready to shelter in place.
Gerald Mercandell remembers Katrina. He's decided to evacuate.
When Katrina was here, hey, I had to stand in the water. And I slept on the bridge for 2 days. I'm not about to do that again.
Others are preparing to hunker down, boarding up homes and businesses, many waiting in long lines for gas and sandbags. Meantime, Louisiana has one of the highest rates of COVID-19 in the country. Crowded hospitals are unable to evacuate patients and are now preparing to shelter in place. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, New Orleans, Louisiana.
The Indiana region of the American Red Cross is deploying volunteers and emergency response vehicles to assist those who will be impacted by the storm along the Gulf. The volunteers will assist people from sheltering, emotional and mental support, emergency assistance and recovery help to guide them through their next steps after Hurricane Ida. Donations are always welcome. Just call 1-800-RED-CROSS for more information on how you can help. There's already a strong Indiana presence in place along the Gulf Coast. Indiana Task Force 1 left Indianapolis yesterday and arrived in Louisiana this morning. The elite search and rescue team sent 46 members who will be ready to go where their services are most needed. Kyle?
And let's take a look at Ida right now here, and there it is in the Gulf of Mexico. We're looking at the satellite imagery here, so this is not rainfall, but this is a look at the cloud tops, and there you see the center of circulation. You also see these reds and oranges kind of closing back in on the western side of that storm, an indication that it is intensifying. Right now, it is a Category 2 storm, but expected to intensify rather quickly. Storm surge potential here could see especially across portions of the Louisiana coast where that storm surge gets in excess of 9 feet. Here's a look. It's expected to make landfall as a Category 4 storm tomorrow during the day. Then it will lift towards the northeast from there. You can see coming through the Tennessee Valley, right through portions of Kentucky and into Ohio. Looks like we may pull in some tropical moisture from this system as a front actually comes in from the north, but indirect influence from Ida here in central Indiana. Right now, steamy at 90 degrees. We've got a feels like number of 94 with that southwest wind around 10 miles per hour. Again, radar is fairly quiet. Just a couple of isolated showers out there for us this evening. Those fading away pretty quickly. And as we go into the overnight, only cooling down here into the lower 70s again. 72 for you in Rockville and Danville, 73 in Muncie, and about 71 for the temperature in Columbus to start off your Sunday. Now, we will start off here dry. As we go through the day, we'll see that chance for a couple of showers. I think much of the first half of the day will be dry. Temperatures already lower 80s at noon, and we'll see numbers that get into the middle to upper 80s for an afternoon high. Now, we may see a few more showers and downpours out there tomorrow afternoon, so that could limit a little more of the 90-degree coverage that we've had here as of late. Here's TrueCast as we go throughout the day on Sunday. Partly sunny skies. It's really not until we get into the evening hours that I think we have a little better chance of some of those thunderstorms and could be a little soggy here as we start off our Monday. Put it all together now in your extended forecast. Those high temperatures finally going to get a little break in this heat, a high around 80 degrees on Tuesday. But Monday, Tuesday, that's when that cold front and the remnants of Ida will bring in some much needed rainfall to the area. And then we've got highs around 80 degrees with some sunshine as we get ready to round out next week. Stay with us. We'll be right back here on the news at 6.
No one should have to die alone. That is the mission of a retired U.S. Marine Master Sergeant who dedicates his time to sit beside Hoosiers who are in their final hours. Amanda Starantino introduces you to Michael Judge of Westville, this month's winner of the Jefferson Award for Multiplying Good.
On any given day, you can find Michael Judge taking a jog in Westfield. But it is here where he stops to take a breath and pay his respects. The retired United States Marine Master Sergeant is fully aware of the sacrifice these men and women made.
This nation will always owe them a debt of gratitude we'll never be able to fully repay. Even if they only served for a couple of years or a year, they volunteered to do something that most folks don't.
While he answered the call to serve his country for more than 2 decades of his life, he continues the call to serve, now during the final moments of people's lives. Michael started volunteering with Heartland Hospice in Marion County, spending his overnight hours in nursing homes and hospitals.
When they're anxious, I would hold their hand, or I would sing them a hymn once in a while, or if they were dry, I would put some water around their mouth for them just to help that a little bit.
Michael's time is a gift to not only the ones he is with in the moment, but to their loved ones as well, giving them peace of mind to step away knowing that someone is still there.
Ministry of presence, just showing up and being involved, and you don't have to even have a whole lot of skill, but just being present is such a gift to folks. Being invested in people when they're at their weakest or their lowest moment. But there's a certain honor of being able to walk alongside somebody when they're in a season of grief or hardship. I mean, it's a gift to be able to allow to step into their lives.
3 years ago, Michael focused on honoring veterans in these moments, providing honor ceremonies for them while in hospice.
On their final Veterans Day, because most of them weren't going to make it to November, said, okay, let's do that.
His work makes a difference during a time when no one should be alone. For that, we honor Michael Judge with the Jefferson Award for multiplying good.
I would always come to a position of attention and say, I want to provide you one last military honor, and I would render them a salute. And that's where the tears would come, usually for the veteran and myself, because it's just something about that I learned is just very touching for them.
It is with this salute that Michael does what he can so no life goes without a final honor.
If I were going to encourage people to be involved in other people's lives, I would encourage them, don't let your fear of the unknown hamper you from being able to touch people's lives. It will change you, it will grow you up, it will make you more tenderhearted and loving, and that's priceless.
Hospice volunteers are always needed. We have information on how you can volunteer in this story, all listed on our website, WRTV.com. And it's easy to nominate someone making a difference in our communities for the Jefferson Award. You can always go to WRTV.com, click on the menu tab on the top left-hand side and our homepage, and scroll all the way down to Jefferson Award to nominate. All right, stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, if you want to add a pet to your family but have not found the time to go out to the shelter and get one, an event happening now is just for you. Indianapolis Animal Care Services is hosting a late-night adopt-a-thon. The shelter on South Harding Street is open until 8 p.m. tonight. Adoptions are free. Cat adoptions will be inside and dog adoptions will be outside, as long as the weather permits. The spike of COVID cases is forcing event organizers to think of options to indoor events, which at times leads to wearing a mask. Today, the outdoors was perfect for families to enjoy the weather and a festival. Our Rafael Sanchez reports on the street in Johnson County turned into a work of art.
The road to making this canvas come alive requires streaks of many colors.
So we said, go big or go home. Last year we did this and we really enjoyed it, so we doubled what we did last year.
We've grown up together and been friends for a long time.
These two ladies intersect on this street every year to create something that is challenging and will impress the eyes.
Art is a great form of communication. What do you think about this? It's showing how people feel, how people relay messages to each other.
This is Chalk the Block, all part of the Ethos Festival in Franklin, which brought people of all ages together, showcasing their best use of colors and creativity.
I think art improves a community, brings it together, and it kind of defines it. For a day, it decorates the community and makes it beautiful.
So take a good look. This is the picture the friends were using as their inspiration.
I think so, because if we go yellow, we're going to get green.
And here is the result. No doubt they knew what they were doing and can chalk this up to their friendship and their skills. Working for you in Franklin, Rafael Sanchez, WRTV.
Such a cool project, some very talented people there. As we go through the next few days, finally, we're looking at a break in this heat as rain chances rise Monday, Tuesday.
All right, thanks, Kyle, for that weather update. Well, that does it for WRTV News at 6. Our next newscast is tonight at 11. Have a great evening.